afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy 8th of July. Welcome to the show. This is Just Parlays with Chris King.
Happy nobody's birthday.
Happy nobody's birthday. It's the day between birthdays. So it's nice to be here. My name's Scott Steen. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. I'm joined as always by the king of parlays, Mr. Chris King. And on our far right, as you face your radio dial, you remember that guy? It's Scott Reichel, everybody. It seems like just last week we were doing this, Scott.
Yeah, it's a little weird because I was reading the top and I realized it said just parlays. Am I in the wrong meeting? Did I show up at the wrong time?
AJ says 3 wide. Yep, like my fancy double wide at the trailer park. I'm the envy of everyone in the entire park, man. A triple wide. Can you
Probably
imagine?
half the state of Missouri.
Which direction? Which half are you cutting?
From the guy coming from North Carolina. You might want to just back off there a little bit.
You know, you've known me for 6 years and you still can't figure out what state I live in.
South Carolina, whatever. It sums up how everybody in the Midwest feels about that part of the country.
Yeah, well, that's why everybody forgets that Missouri exists.
There's
Because
two-
hey, look, there's Illinois.
There's 2 Carolinas. Yeah, no one cares.
There's 2 Dakotas.
Couldn't care even less. That should never have been 2 states. That should have been just the Dakota Territory. Call it good.
There's 2 Mexicos.
Do you ever read the story on how the Dakotas became split like that?
No.
It's some shady shit, man. It's some shady shit.
Well, they kind of have to have it, right? Because if they only had 1 Dakota, then the Summit League wouldn't exist. So all the rejects from like the Pac-12 who weren't accepted to the big Power 5 schools might actually have another conference to play in basketball, you know?
Yep, absolutely true.
And
Brandon
probably still finish last.
Brandon Kubas says, good to see the Scots again. Marlo checking in. Nice. What does that say?
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov?
Oh, those are names.
He's all in UFC. Brandon's the UFC guy on Friday.
I was going to ask Brandon if he could smell burning toast. I thought he was having a fucking stroke. Okay. So, all right. So, how do we pronounce those names, Rachel?
You have Nurmagomedov, then you have Tercios, I believe, and the last one is Nchekwu.
Have you heard those names before, or are you just winging it?
Nurmagomedov is one of the most famous names in UFC history because, of course, Khabib Nurmagomedov has the same last name. Tercios is kind of newer. I can't say that I truly know him. And Nchekwu, I've seen fight a couple times. Pretty solid.
Okay, there you go.
He's not as good as Robert and Temdiche. Remember the guy from Old Miss?
The one who had like the illegal was he the one involved in the illegal recruiting stuff?
I thought so. I'm pretty sure.
He went to the Cardinals. He had some type of like arrest or something. Might have been alcohol, I think.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an ongoing trend, you know.
JC says you're alive. Yeah, he's alive. He's been around.
I'm still doing my night shows. I just had a lot more free time in the afternoons.
Oh, we did Total Chaos the other day. How did we end up? Did you grade us out?
We split. Or I went 2 and 2. I think you also went 2 and 2.
Okay.
So in other words, he didn't care what you did.
No, because I'm pretty sure we agreed on like 2, but we split on the other 2. And we ended up splitting with those splits. So I think we each went 2 and 2.
The game we insisted on doing that Allie tried so hard not to have us do ended up being a loser.
And that was also both of our plays of the day, which also lost.
That was embarrassing. It was our play of the day like 6 days earlier.
Of course, you had 6 runs in the first 4 innings, and then Keuchel just buckled down. You know, first inning, you have a leadoff double, and then an RBI single after like an out, and you're like, oh, Keuchel's about to give up 7 runs in like 3 innings, and then
I'm gonna win this in the first.
And the Rockies just didn't touch him for the rest of the start. It was really weird. And then, of course, you're rooting for extras. And the Diamondbacks bringing Melanson into the game, and you know it's over at that point because Melanson stinks. Do you think Melanson's going to be the Kimbrel replacement in LA?
That's it. That would seem to fit right in. I texted Chris last night. I don't know who I hate more. I don't know if I hate Jansen at his prime or Kimbrel worse.
See, I don't know if I hate Kimbrel because you know what you're getting into. Jansen would have a couple of outings where he'd actually look really good, and it was the one time you'd back him, he would be awful. Kimbrel, you're going in, you take the live plus 2.5 on the other team.
I had the Dodgers a couple of weeks ago, and Kimbrel came in and picked up the save 1, 2, 3, and I went, wow, okay. All right, well, maybe he's going to be okay. And
he
then
turned a corner. No,
like the next
not
two
really.
times, one time he fucked me, and last night he tried his best to fuck me and just.
I think they said he's given up at least one run in like half of his appearances this season.
That's just fucking scandalous for a closer.
Yeah, he's given up 18 runs in 30 outings. So.
I had the under last night, and I watched him go to 4 straight batters with 2 strikes, lose the first 3 of them. I think they were behind in the count on every one, at least 2, and lost every one of them. Finally got the out. On
well, they pulled him.
It wasn't even him. It was
they brought the lefty in. Yeah.
Al Velasquez looks at that pitch on a 3-2 count or 2-2 count, whatever it was. How you look at that?
Right down Broadway, baby.
Yeah. What the hell are you looking for? I was looking for an off-speed pitch.
He had to be looking off speed. That's the only excuse, because he just went right down the middle.
Yeah, I was looking for an off-speed pitch in the dirt that I could try to golf.
I can't believe they're laying off pitches that close, just right down the middle to end the game.
I don't know if you guys saw that pitch I was talking about yesterday, where Mickey Moniak swung at it. He's a left-handed batter, and the ball would have plugged a right-handed batter in the ribs.
A couple of Keuchel pitches had Rockies batters. I thought McMahon, I know he had an RBI single. He had a couple of brutal 2-strike swings on some of those sliders by Keuchel. It was rough.
Yep. Scott, are you still doing your podcast? Brandon Kubas wants to know. You're still.
Yep. Still doing the NBA stuff. I had a tennis one either last night or 2 nights ago. I'm going to have another one tonight.
Remember.
So, yeah, keeping busy. WNBA should be sometime later this week, but I'm still been keeping busy. And so far, so good.
All-star break for the WNBA, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're probably going to do a futures update episode, talk about the finals odds and the MVP odds and that stuff.
There you
go. Fading the dream.
AJ's talking about Kimbrel in his arms. Yeah, that's one of those affectations that's kind of cute when it's going well. You're like, oh yeah, he's storking it, man. But it was like Al Hrabosky.
The mad Hungarian.
Pumped up behind the mound on every pitch. That was great when he'd like put one down the middle and the guy just swing and miss and the crowd would. But when he fucking does that and then throws 3 in the dirt, you're like, okay, this is getting a little old.
It makes you think that the Cubs, sold on Kimbrel at the right time, because when they traded him, he had an ERA of 0.49 last year.
Let me tell you something. If you're the GM of a Major League Baseball team, you should live your life by one credo: sell high on your closer. They do not have long careers. Usually when they have those fantastic seasons, it's a one-off. They have peaked. You've got them at the apex, get maximum value, because they'll never, ever be the same.
It's not maximum value, but a funny option. What are the odds the Yankees trade Chapman to the Dodgers? I can see that.
What do you give up?
Yeah, what a couple of random BS prospects?
No. I think the Yankees try to get us.
What he might be worth at this point. I got to check his contract, but if we're talking about last-second duct tape on a torn ACL, I do think Chapman fits the void there for the Dodgers. And, of course, they don't need him because Chapman got injured. Holmes took over the closing role, and he's been arguably the best closer in baseball for the entire season.
He's been very good.
Well, it looks like Chapman's a free agent after the season.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, dump him for a couple of prospects, mediocre quality, and Dodgers have themselves a closer, quote unquote.
And his ERA is just as bad as Kimbrel's.
Correct, but the Dodgers might just throw it. Hey, they traded for Kimbrel, so clearly they don't care about the ERA.
He'd fit right in with guys that are like, man, he should be a lot better than this, but he isn't. That'd be perfect. Andrew says, nice game on the run line of the Astros yesterday. The Steenmeister General. I like that. Yeah, we had to sweat it as they shit the bed with the bases loaded in the 7th and thought they were going to do the same thing in the 8th, but Altuve drove a sac fly to left, and then they dribbled in another run. So, yeah, we got there.
How sad is it that if you look at the Astros catchers and find out they can't hit, and then when they face the Royals, they look like Babe Ruth, because Martin Maldonado was, 3 for 3.
Oh,
he was hitting $150.
Yeah.
I stopped complaining about Houston's catchers when Castro hit that 2-run homer against the Mets. When he was batting like 103.
Is Dusty Baker retarded? Not pinch hitting for him?
I called him an idiot. In my defense, he was, because Castro did get out in that situation. Like he should not have been batting with first and third, and he got out. They just gave him another at bat, and he homered in the 9th inning. So it was a different situation. But right. Castro's batting like 103. Maldonado's like 140. It's really disgusting, the overall catcher numbers at the plate.
Castro's all the way up to 115 now.
Good for him. Look at him.
Bronco
slugging $179.
Bronco says his heart's just getting back to normal after watching Kimbrel. This is the third leg of his parlay. Yeah, it was I was watching, buddy. I was grading. Yeah, I was thinking about you as the. I didn't.
I was actually hoping that game was going to go over the total.
I think you had. Did you? I know. Did you have that on one of your boxcar picks?
Yeah, I had the over on it.
Okay.
All right, so
that's why I got pissed off when Velasquez looked at that pitch. I watched that I told Steve, I said,
"Yeah, the over in the Gonsolin game. Interesting."
Well, yeah, because I figured Leiter was going to get lit up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gonsolin, seven innings, 2 runs,
consistent.
Picked up the win again.
Your Cy Young ticket gets nicer by the day.
It really does. I think it's
Leiter was down 1-0 after one batter.
I think I've doubled my value. I think I checked it yesterday in the amalgamation site that has all the ones from all over. Had it at 12-1.
I don't know if it matters if you're going to keep letting it ride. Isn't that the rule of the craps table? If you're never going to cash out on it, then it's just hopefully turns minus 200 at some point.
Hopefully you're making enough profit on those place bets to take that hit.
Yeah,
you got them pumped up. So,
yep. I know you didn't watch the CFL game, or Steen. Did you see it, Rachel?
No, I know it was 3-3 early on. I know that the Elks are not a good team, but yeah.
Sam Peters squeaked by the narrow margin of 49-6.
I was going to say it was 3-3, and then things went off the rails at that point.
Bronco says he's got Gonsolin on a Cy Young ticket. Excellent.
But a play that you would only see in the CFL, Edmonton missed a field goal. The guy ran it back 122 yards for a touchdown.
What's the record? 128, I think?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he didn't even get touched on 122 yards. I watched one lineman try to get him. He went right past him.
How deep
was Devin Hester?
How deep? No, that's funny. How deep is the end zone? 15? 20.
No, it's 20. Yeah.
You read the play-by-play. It's like he caught the ball at the Calgary -12.
I got to start dabbling more in player props for Canadian football. I saw that FanDuel has them now.
You bet in the summer league? I know, Chris, you probably aren't. Scott, you bet in the summer league?
There was a time a couple of years ago I was actually giving out plays of the day in summer league stuff, and I actually did really well with those. But I've been keeping some tabs. It's pretty difficult because you have a couple of last-second scratches. You know, people want to see the Jaden Ivies of the world, the Chet Holmgrens of the world, and then you look at the injury report. It goes, oh, he's not playing because of rest, but you're not going to know that until like 20 minutes before the game.
Right.
So it's pretty tough to fully bet them. You can get a lot of value on the overnights if the injury reports don't screw you, but you might get some last-second okey-dokes on, oh, this top 10 pick is suddenly not playing.
Yeah, Paulo Banchero's out with a hangnail.
Hey, better late than never. I want to remind everybody, if you would be so kind, smash that like button. Give us the approval that we so crave. Oh, gotta have it. Hammer that thumb. We appreciate the effort. Of course, get subscribed to both the YouTube channels, the Winners and Winers YouTube channel, where you can find great daily picks from, well, everybody that you see right here. Chris has joined the club. One of us.
Yeah, I still don't know why I put the wrong date on it.
Because you can.
So it's me, it's Chris, it's Scott, it's Mason, Foles. Got a lot of great guys that have been writing for us over at Winners and Winers, now doing videos. Check those out. And if you want to find great live content like what you see here, and the NASCAR show, and what you're going to see on Monday when Chris will be hosting with the one and only. That's where you talk, Chris.
The guy that's not here,
Jim Williams.
I was going to say, you weren't talking to me. That was one of those times where force of habit, I thought you were talking to me, but I kept my mouth shut.
I was waiting to see if Rachel was going to chime in because, you know, that's what he always does.
For the first 2 weeks of doing the show with Chris, all I said was, Scott, what do you think?
Yep.
And Chris had to remind me that he was not you. And so there you go. Yeah, Jim Williams is going to be back at least for a while. And we'll see. We
don't know what's going on.
He thought he was out. They kept pulling him back in. You know how it goes.
Every time I'm out, they pull me back in.
Rice says, smash it. Smash that like button. Damn right. How about this idea? USFL player when plays the NFL team.
There's two options you have. The NFL team I'll toss out. Either you get them a tune-up matchup against Bama.
Yeah.
Or you eventually have the USFL winner play the XFL winner, assuming both the leagues are still alive.
Yeah,
they could have some type of exhibition winner-take-all cup.
Bring a Canadian team down.
Yeah, what about that?
Give them play on the long field, but give them 4 downs.
Yeah, for NFL, no. If you want to make lines for a college team, I think that's more fair.
Yeah.
I'd probably take the college team, to be honest.
Where Adam Sandler's talking about, you tune up against some slack-ass Division II team like App State.
Bronco Devil calls Mason Foles David Bowie Jr. I could see that. The thin white Duke. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Is this your last day? Yes, it is. This is my last day of hosting Just Parlays.
He was traded for a head of lettuce and a player to be named later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cash
Those player to be
consideration.
named later, though. Some of them turn out to be okay.
Could be FP Santangelo.
I like the cash considerations. Yeah, we consider giving you cash, but we're not going to do it. So
We're going to give you some. We haven't decided how much.
So
somewhere between 2 cents and $5.
I imagine they give it to them
What's up,
in
Timmy?
like a Hallmark card, like a grandparent on a birthday. Like you have to shake it and you have to like, oh, there's a check in here. What is this? To be named later. Okay, thank you. Check back. It's like $50,000.
Undetermined.
Yeah,
absolutely.
TBD.
Timmy Earl in the house. Good to see you. We got a bunch of people that do shows. We got Rye. We've got Tim Earl. By the way, speaking of Rye, we're going to be doing the NASCAR show at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing it live, so check in
On tape.
as we do our NASCAR show. So designated.
Bronco said you were DFA'd.
I've been yes, I've been DFA'd, and my contract.
We have the franchise has 10 days to trade you or release you from your contract.
Give me my outright release.
And we wish you well on your future endeavors.
We haven't talked a lot about it. I am extremely excited about the project that I'm working on. It checks a lot of boxes for me. I get to do like all the stuff that I'm doing, plus I get to do some other stuff that I pride myself on being able to do well. So should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It should debut around the beginning of football season. So
Rice said Studio B does offer tours for a large fee.
That's right. It's like Paisley Park. You want to stop by and see where the magic happens. You can stop by anytime here in lovely Missouri. When
you say football, by the way, is that NFL or is that college?
NFL.
Okay.
NFL.
So before September 5th.
James S. says, I want to thank you for everything. I wish I had the chance to meet and shake your hand in real life. I know you do in future endeavors. I appreciate it, James. We talked about doing a Vegas meetup, and we kind of got like pandemicked out. And then last year I wasn't still that positive about flying during the pandemic. So I would say that's not off the table. We've still got a guy that used to comment. And in fact, I think he still checks in every once in a while, but he's got to hook up with, I think, Marriott, and
nice.
could maybe get a group thing together. So would you guys be into that? Scott, I know you don't need much of an excuse to go to Vegas. What about you, Chris? Could we drag you out of South Carolina long enough to meet in Vegas for a few days?
You can actually place bets there. It's a change of pace.
I haven't taken a day off in 6.5 years. So I mean,
it's a work trip.
I'll still shake your hand even if we meet in person, James. Absolutely. March Madness meetup. Oh, I don't hate that. I don't fucking hate that. It's a crazy time out there. You're not going to get any deals.
No, you're definitely not. Not in March.
What a fun time to be in Vegas and just fucking veg in the sports book all day.
I was there this past year. I saw St. Peter's beat Kentucky in one of the Vegas sports books.
For me, I'd rather be there like opening week. I'd like to be there opening Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's the best time.
That'd be fantastic.
Because
all the games.
By then you're minus. If you go after that, then you're minus all the potential upset bids and everything for those.
That is a great idea. We're gonna look into that. So,
see if the company will cover all that.
We'll see. We'll see what kind of deal we can get. And see how the show goes. I used to go to Vegas for Super Bowl. I've never been there for Super Bowl. Scott, you been there for Super Bowl?
I've not. I was there for the divisional round of the playoffs a couple years ago.
Huh? I've been there for the playoffs.
I believe it was Colts-Texans, I think, and the Colts won that game. But that was the only time I was there for an actual football season meetup, so to speak.
I'm enough of a cheap bastard that I've kind of been boycotting Vegas because of the fucking resort fees. It just pissed me off.
Are they that bad? I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah. I mean, they're 40 to 60 a night in most places.
I mean, the last 2 times I went, the room was paid for, so that's probably the icing on the cake of why I went.
Well,
I'm saying if I had to pay for the rooms, I can understand, But
you been to Vegas, Chris?
No, never been.
Oh shit, we got to get you there. We're gonna get you there, sure. Saw the Beatles show and Drew Carey. I did see the Beatles and the Drew Carey show. That'd be fun. I like Drew. I wouldn't call him a friend, but I have met him. I've been to a party at his house.
I believe Drew once said that the points don't matter. That's our moniker for the NASCAR show.
That's right. The points don't matter. We just do it for the love of the game. I used to go to Vegas for Celine Dion. Fucking right, Gabe.
Well, you got to remember, Rice probably still hung over because remember he was going to start drinking when he left work yesterday. Then he was going to go to the Thor movie at midnight, and he had to be back to work at 6. So
brutal. I only know one Celine Dion song.
You're here. There's the Titanic song. Wherever you are.
That's all I know.
Exactly.
That's the only one I know.
That's probably one too many.
I know she's skinny as fuck.
Good for her.
Like emaciated almost.
Okay.
So anyway, hey Chris, let's make some money. Let's. I know you like having me chatter about your picks. Now we got 2 of us. You got Scott and Scott to tear down your fucking picks and tell you why they're stupid. Let's go.
Yeah, this coming from the guy who only went against his own team again yesterday live.
What do I owe this allegiance to my own team to never bet against?
Do you know how many times on the NFL show I was fading the Jets first quarter? That was like my automatic go-to moneymaker for
nobody
the NFL
admits
season.
they're the Jets. Nobody admits they're a Jets fan other than Fireman Ed. Is he still alive?
He was. I know he was like excommunicated because I think he had like a DUI or something, but he's back now. So.
Oh, gee, they excommunicated for him having a DUI.
And then I think he came back, but he had some type of issue legally.
One of the 3 actual Jets fans.
Money's money, you know.
James says if you've not seen the Raiders Stadium in real life, wow, they're building some kind of big ass dome on the Strip too. A theater. That's cool. Yeah, I have not seen the Death Star. Is it cool, Scott?
I've gone past it. It's very, very cool on the highway.
I mean, I know where it sits geographically, but
I would love to actually go to a game there. Mm-hmm. But from the outside, if you're actually driving past it on the highway, it looks incredible.
Yep. Pretty damn cool.
Is it cooler than SoFi?
I think it's close, but truth is the exterior, I think it is. The exterior for the Raider Stadium looks really, really cool.
Well, and the thing about SoFi is a lot of it's in ground.
Yeah.
It goes down. So it's not going to be as imposing from a distance as
true.
It's also like open on the sides in SoFi, which is a bit weird.
Right.
But...
It kind of looks like a pavilion from the outside, but the Raiders Stadium and it's fucking visible from a lot of places. I just know from where it is geographically, where you can see it from, and there's a lot of fucking angles you can see that stadium. It's got to be cool. So, Rice says his neighbor's a hardcore Jets fan. He's highly entertaining.
He's probably also drunk.
All right, Chris, let's do some baseball. What do we got?
Well, got the Yankees and the Red Sox. This ought to make Rachel happy since he's a Yankees fan.
Yep.
Of course. We talked about that game. Bill asked, was it Bill McDonald that asked about the first 5 staying under?
Yes. And by the way, Bill almost had after pointing out the error of Stat Fox's ways, he almost had a very prescient prediction as the Red Sox came back and got close. And this was my best bet of the day on the premium side. So I was sweating it, but they just never could break through against that Yankees bullpen, man.
Yeah, because the only guy that did any damage was Devers.
Yeah, that's it.
Who's now homered, I think, 6 times against Cole in his career.
That's absolutely weird the way, and I've seen that with other pitchers too. For some reason, you'll have somebody that's a good player, above average player, but he just owns a fucking star, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. It just is.
I think you're being a bit harsh on Devers there, because Devers is an incredible third baseman. I think you're being a little bit harsh there, but I know the point you're trying to make.
Okay. All right. So, Chris, you like the Yankees here?
Yeah, I don't know what to make out of Connor Siebold. He's only made 2 starts. I get that. So, but his ERA is 8.31. His WHIP's over 2. He hasn't gone very deep, and we know that the Yankees can put some runs on the board. Question is, can Siebold keep them in it enough that they can hope that their bullpen holds up? And I don't see it happening. Rachel, what do you make of Nestor Cortez? I'm sure you've seen him a lot.
Cortez, of course, has had a great year. However, I think everyone knew that his first couple months weren't sustainable, and his ERA has gone above 2. Now it's about 2.44. I do think the Yankees, of course, have the better overall pitching staff, and especially in this matchup. The one total play I don't mind, maybe a first 5 over, because I do think the Red Sox might have some opportunities against Cortez. And, we talked about Boston's pitcher. Siebold is not good. So I don't mind maybe a first 5 over there. But I do think the Yankees should find a way to get the job done. Maybe a team total over if you want to avoid Cortez entirely. But the Yankees should get the Siebold throughout this game.
they must see something in him that hasn't shown up in those first 2 starts, because for them to keep trotting him out there, they must expect something of him. And I haven't seen him pitch. I don't know, Scott, if he has quote unquote good stuff, but there must be something they like about this kid. Maybe he can put it together. Having said that, I'm surprised that this price is as reasonable as it is. I would expect this, and I know the Red Sox are getting a lot of respect, and of course they're at home, but I would still expect this number to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 170 or so. Are you guys surprised we're catching this for $1.50?
I am.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, if you look, the Red Sox, even being at home, they haven't been that great. Just 21-19 at Fenway.
Fair, yeah.
And as for Seabold, I think he's pitching because the Red Sox are like, well, who else are we going to throw? Eovaldi's hurt. Sale is supposed to be back next week.
Now you're still having tantrums in the locker room at AAA.
That was a funny clip. By the way, Scott,
and Whitlock's going to go to the bullpen.
To your point on Cortez, he's made in his last 5 starts, ERA 5.6 or 4.68, FIP even worse than that at 5.5. So they absolutely have been getting to him a little bit more than they were early in the season. He peaked pretty much on the 2nd of June, took his ERA down to 1.50, and since then it's been a little bit of a struggle. The Yankees are 3-2 in those starts, but I'm okay. I'm okay with this matchup. I still think Cortez has the advantage, and I think the Yankees, no matter how well Boston's playing, the Yankees are a better team.
And I'm still looking at the first 5 over as well, because the Yankees bullpen we know is very solid, but Cortez has been vulnerable. Seabold's just been bad, so I don't mind a first 5 over there.
Now, I didn't play the run line yesterday when I made my best bet with the Yankees. I just didn't love the matchup enough, and that ended up being the right move. You guys interested in the run line today, catching 60 cents of value, taking it to plus 105? Chris?
I like it just because, like Scott said, Seabold has been bad. And if Cortez can keep Boston in check, that bullpen should be able to shut him down and maintain a multi-run lead.
Even a mediocre start, if Cortez gives you 5 innings, 3 runs, you're probably in decent shape anyway.
Yeah, you got to think so. Scott, you okay with the run line here?
Yeah, I don't mind it, especially when you're getting plus money on the run line with a guaranteed 9 at-bats with a 60-23 team. I don't mind it.
Hard to pass up. All right, what else you got, Chris?
All right. Well, we also have Kevin there saying, what games do you guys like for Nerfy? He's looking for a couple of Nerfies.
We were joking about that. We were joking about bringing back the farm play for one day and one day only. And Scott's first thought was, got any Nerfies you like?
Yeah.
We talked about a couple. You had a surprising one, Scott.
I did. I had the Rockies Diamondbacks one.
Okay. That's what they call going to extremes, is we had them to go over 14.5 runs or so last night. We thought that was going to be a fucking score fest.
Well, the Rockies still have the second worst offense on the road in terms of runs per game, but Gallen first innings, he's been very good.
Yeah, you're convinced on Cool. You think Cool is going to I'm going to say turn the corner, because he's had a weird season, and he's been in this stretch lately where he's been in every other game guy.
Yeah,
where it doesn't matter if it's on the roads and it's home, whatever, just every other game he's sucked. And if you back that theory, well, tonight it should be the good game, because he gave up 5 earned in 5 innings last time out, 7 hits and a walk, go along with 1 dinger and 2 strikeouts. So the best thing I can say about this one is you're getting a reasonable price as far as a Nerfy goes. Chris, you got a Nerfy you like?
Like I said, I thought that this Rays-Reds game would be a decent Nerfy, because Castillo, he's only got a 309 earned run average on the season, which is way better than the rest of the pitching staff, which is 5-something for the starting rotation. And we know McClanahan can shut anybody down.
Yep. I think, and you're probably gonna pay the price there.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was 135 or 140 this morning.
So
that's really not even that bad. 135 for a McClanahan start.
Not horrible. I also wouldn't be mad at you if you wanted to play Wheeler and Wainwright.
That too.
They're in St. Louis. They're not.
Schwarber's going to give you nightmares for about 3 minutes, but if you get past that, you might be in decent shape.
Well, and you got two problems there. You got 2 conflicting things, because yesterday I took Schwarber home run and it did not pay off. So
he had a couple pitches there that he could have just clobbered.
Using the day after theory, I look for 10 total bases from him tonight. So.
I do want to congratulate, though, one particular player for yesterday, because since Keuchel pitched well, it's safe to say that Adon is the worst starting pitcher in the league. Congratulations.
Hey, you know what we learned? We learned how to say his name right.
That's true.
It's Johan Adon.
It's Adon.
Johan Adon. Yeah.
Well, I don't condone his performances.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot to work with there. All right, so there's some nerfies for you, man.
Kevin said he hit the Detroit nerfie yesterday for 500.
Nice.
Very nice indeed. Detroit, another horrible offensive team. Worst in the league. Their first runs, if I remember right, bottom 5. But who's Miami was second worst? Who's the worst
for first inning runs? Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore. That's right. Who's the second most profitable team?
Baltimore.
Yeah, as we learned yesterday. So
yeah, Tim pointed that out.
I had Ohtani to homer last night. He had one to the warning track, but I despise the new dimensions in Camden. Anytime it's a fly ball to left field, you just assume it's caught now.
Right.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's bullshit. But it's worked out okay for the Orioles. They've been one surprised.
They're still going to finish in last place, but they're a respectable last place team. You know,
four back, four under.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, way better than we expected.
The gracious fundamentalist T asked, "What do we thought of the total for the Yankees Red Sox at 9.5?"
I said first 5, but I'm leaning over.
So your first 5, you're getting 5.
Yeah, give or take. I like the over there. If you can find a 4.5 juiced, I don't mind that either. For a full game, though, I know the Yankees bullpen's very good, but I got to go with the over. I think both starting pitchers have shown signs of either decline or just ineptitude. So I'm going to go with the over.
I thought you were going to go with Bob Uecker from Major League and go, he's starting to show signs of fatigue.
Yep.
You think the Yankees get to 7?
I think they can. And if I think that's a possibility, then I'm not going to take the under.
Is that what it's going to take to get over?
No, I think Boston.
I can see 6-4, something like that.
Yeah, I can see Boston getting to 4 or 5.
Okay. All right, there you go. The Rays laying 167 at the Reds. This is at Great American, of course. McClanahan going against Castillo. Pretty good pitching matchup. Chris, I don't love the price on this. I really don't.
I liked it better when I did it yesterday. It was 151.
Yeah.
Something like that. But, obviously might come in on Tampa Bay since.
All right. McClanahan, and then I'm assuming this is all about the pitching matchup for you. McClanahan, 1.74 ERA, 0.81 whip. One of the top 3 favorites for the American League Cy Young Award.
And he also leads the league in strikeout to walk ratio, too, at 782.
Yeah.
Nose hair. Looks like a party favor when he sneezes. Rays, my problem with the Rays, can't score runs. 22nd in the majors runs per game. 17th on the road, which is decent. They play better outside of the Trop. Castillo, you know what? That's a guy for me that doesn't pass the eye test, but his stats are decent. Every time I watch him play, I don't get it. He doesn't look like he, was the pitcher that he was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, wasn't the main calling card his slider, which was like allegedly the best slider in the league? Or
everything just seems to be moving less. His four seamer seems to be on the same plane, and he doesn't seem to be getting the movement on the slider. But 3.09 ERA, 1.14 whip, and nothing wrong with that.
Well, he has to be good because he wants Cincinnati to trade him.
Still walking, guys. 22 walks in 64 innings. That's not ideal, but he's still getting the strikeouts, over strikeout per inning. Rays play pretty well on the road, Chris. Last to 5 against a right-hander. 8-2 against the National League Central. Yeah, I don't care.
That just makes me laugh.
Well, I mean,
I'm reading the comment section. Ronjo says there's this guy threw at his own kid in the father-son game.
Nice. Yeah.
This guy's a convicted felon, isn't he, Monty?
No, well, he should be.
I'm not sure.
Well, he should be.
Yeah, it should be.
We should do a show where we just do the live read, like a live table read of Major League.
Good stuff. Fly ball caught.
I literally watched that as I was doing work the other day. I had it on in the background like 2 days ago.
I'll watch it every time it's on TV.
It just I had it on my DVR. But it was the network version. So it was just like win the whole thing, and they weren't like dubbing it. They would just blank it.
That's a shame.
It would just take and on the Japanese subtitles, they never had any subtitles. They didn't even try to cross out.
They go there because I've seen it on TV where I go, they're still lousy or something like that.
Yeah. So anyway, great movie. Terrible movie, but very entertaining. I mean, it's if you break it down as far as the classic movies,
It's not the deepest movie you'll ever see, but it's high quality stuff.
It's high quality.
Dynamite drop-in money. That broadcasting school really paid off.
Reds can't hit lefties. That's a problem.
I feel like you're forgetting something. They can't hit, period. Like lefties is true, but against righties, they're not doing much better either. But the thing is, you mentioned the pitching matchup. Of course, McClanahan's better, but Castillo's pretty good. Even if it's a tie game or they keep it close, the bullpen's really the story for me, because Cincinnati was good the one time when I had the Mets run line, and they just gave up one run in the entire. They gave up no runs in the entire game. But the Reds' bullpen stinks. The Rays have had some injuries, but their bullpen is still good enough to get by. You might see a 1-0 game or something for the first couple innings, but as soon as Castillo comes out of the game, you might see some fireworks. So if you want a live run line, I don't mind that. You can maybe even get it at plus 130 mid-game. But expect Cincinnati's bullpen to fall apart at some point.
Yeah, to Scott's point, Cincinnati's bullpen has a 5.49 collective earned run average this season.
I believe it's been the worst in the majors most of the season.
Well, yeah, I think them and Washington have been battling back.
I thought Colorado was somewhere.
It's been Cincinnati, Colorado at the bottom, but Cincinnati's consistently been worse than Colorado. Yeah. But those have been the bottom two teams the whole season. Now the Royals start creeping in there when you're talking about ERA bullpen at home. They're over 5 at home as far as their bullpen ERA goes. So I just want to bring up one point about this. This is minus 167. The Yankees are minus 155, and I think we can all agree that as of right now, Castillo is a much better pitcher than the kid for Boston.
If the Reds are going to take a game, this is their best shot to do it, in my opinion, just because Castillo can give them something to work with.
Right.
If you like the Reds, probably go for the first 5 and hope they maybe hit a solo shot or a 2-run homer against McClanahan.
Yep.
But over a course of 9 innings, I think Tampa finds a way to separate themselves. And you mentioned the offensive numbers for Tampa, which aren't great. To push back a little bit, they've had a bunch of injuries. Franco missed some time. Arozarena missed some time. Both of them are back. So I do think Tampa might be a bit undervalued offensively. They're not great offensively, but I think they're better than the numbers show.
All right. Chris?
They scored 39 runs in their last 6 games. So
okay. Showing some signs of life. Very good. Chris,
real quick, you said that about the Reds, don't forget, too, that Cincinnati had to play a doubleheader yesterday, so their bullpen is going to be a bit worn out.
That actually kind of hurts, though, because you were hoping they would pull Castillo sooner rather than later. He might have an even longer leash tonight.
But if he wears down, they could just tee off on him late. But looking at the Reds' pen, they threw – who threw yesterday? Almost everybody.
Yeah. Would it shock you if the Rays scored 2 runs in the top of the 9th? Probably not. So I think a live run line play or maybe even a live money line play might be the best option.
Yeah, especially if the Rays get down early, get down 3-1.
Yeah.
Or 4-2, something like that. Yeah. Very good. Although getting 4 runs against McClanahan, that seems unlikely. So.
Yeah, I think he's only given up 4 runs at a start once, and that was to the Yankees.
We'll say 2-0.
Show us some 2-teamers, Chris.
Well, there we go. We got the Rays and the Yankees. I put them together because why not?
All right, very good.
Then I go with the Phillies. I like Wheeler. He shut down the Cardinals on Sunday night. Wainwright, I can't figure out what's going on with the Cardinals. They did nothing offensively for that 4-game set with Atlanta. They escaped with a win yesterday because, hey, look, Atlanta's bullpen pitched like crap.
Right.
What a surprise. Phillies, Wheeler's good. We know that offense can put up runs. Rachel, you have anything you want to say about either one of those teams?
The Cardinals can hit. The main takeaway, if you want to just go through it, the last 5 games, the Cardinals have not reached 4 runs. And they ended up having 3 against Atlanta yesterday in extra innings. So they really just can't score. Wheeler's been good. It would not surprise me if the Cardinals fail to even reach 3 in this game. I don't mind a team total under if you want to take a spin there, fading the Cardinals offense, but it was good to start the season. It's not good right now. So I feel like until I see the Cardinals wake up, I'm going to assume they're going to keep struggling.
And speaking of, why should Albert Pujols be involved in the All-Star game? He's hitting, 2-something, low 2s.
Didn't the NBA do that once for like a legacy spot for Dwayne Wade or something like that?
Something like that, but I mean, they're putting in Cabrera, who I get it.
He's actually been hasn't been great, but I mean, Pujols
He's been
hasn't
better
held
than-
a candle to him.
Right. I mean, you look at Pujols' numbers on the year, and he's hitting. Oh, he's at the Mendoza line, 200 even.
I'm sorry. Are you guys bitching about carving out a spot for the two greatest right-handed hitters of the last 50 years?
I wasn't bitching about anything. Chris brought it up. I was trying to say it's been done in the NBA before, so I'm not exactly opposed to it.
All right. Well, fuck you and your wishy-washy self. Are you in favor of it or against it?
I don't mind it.
Okay. Wow.
I don't like it. I don't care if you're one of the best hitters in the last 50
The All-Star
years.
game
They
doesn't
didn't
mean
do it
anything, though.
before.
Fuck, you worried about the integrity of the All-Star game?
I was going to say, if they were still playing for World Series home field advantage, then maybe I'd have a problem with it, but they're not. So
I'm just saying, they've never done it before. Why do they feel compelled to do it now? I told you before, I don't like the DH, the National League. I think it was fine the way it was. I don't think that we should just be throwing. I don't think we should be just throwing guys in there because they had good careers. What are we going to do next?
No, once again, you can do what the NBA did. You add an extra legacy spot. You keep the same amount of players. You throw in an extra one on the bench. Who cares?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't cost anybody a spot, I'm fine with it. Look out your window, Chris. There's some clouds to yell at. Go do that.
You're older than I am, old man.
Yeah, I'm not the one fucking that sounds like Honus Wagner over here. And I hate the DH.
I hated the DH when they put it in the first place.
Have you ever listened to Honus Wagner talk? Why Honus Wagner, of all people, to reference?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I actually found it showed up in my algorithm, a YouTube clip of Honus Wagner talking and taking batting practice at age like 68.
Okay.
It's some colorized thing, and I was fucking fascinated. So
he made more contact than Joey Gallo.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I turned on the Yankees game yesterday. I told you I had that game. First batter I see is Joey Gallo. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is going to go well. Spoiler alert, it didn't.
That Trevino double, though, he roped that thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would that go 10 feet?
Well, you see the Vinny Pasquantino home run the other day? Got about 9 feet off the ground the whole way.
Yeah, the Dylan Moore one yesterday, which was a Canseco light situation with Gurriel Jr. there in Toronto.
Yep. Beautiful thing.
By the way, Mortal, to answer your question, a NRFI, NRFI is an acronym. It's no run first inning.
There you go.
Exactly.
Which we will fully admit it was a term that we did not know until this season. We bet no run first innings for a few years now. Never heard it called a NRFI. Never heard it broken down like that.
Wait, Bill McDonald, Manny, best right-handed hitters. You're just being disrespectful to Hank Aaron. That's one. A bit disrespectful to Willie Mays.
Well,
that's another option.
Hank Aaron did the majority of his damage before my window.
I'm just saying though, you're throwing in Manny and A-Rod. Like you got to show some. You got to give some flowers to
A-Rod. No.
Hank Aaron and Willie Mays. I feel like those are your top two choices.
Willie Mays did not play. He might have played 73 with the Mets.
Yeah, I think it was 72 or 73.
Okay, so if we take Willie Mays and Hank Aaron, two guys that clearly belong in the generation prior to the one I'm talking about, I will put up Pujols and Cabrera against Manny. Anytime.
That's fine.
Right.
I'm just saying, when you throw in Manny and A-Rod, like I got to push back a little bit. You got to include Aaron and Mays.
Yes, I'll include Aaron and Mays. I will not include A-Rod and Manny.
Yeah, J.R. Gwynn was left-handed.
Yeah.
So is Ted Williams. So.
Wade Boggs, same way.
Good old Bags.
George Brett. Yep. So, no, I'm. The number one rule if you're gonna have a show, if you're gonna talk sports, have a fucking take.
Yep.
And if you have a take, people are gonna disagree with you. That's what makes baseball great because you can compare stats from different generations. You go, well, he did this, but this guy did that, and it's fun. I've spent many a beer talking over and arguing over baseball players from the past versus.
And if you wanted a take, I would tell you that Babe Ruth would hit below 240 in today's baseball.
I don't know why you say that.
I just don't believe that the pitchers were good enough back then to show enough variety.
That's true. Plus, you didn't see the parade of relievers like you do now.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see like guys, stars from that era, your Babe Ruths, your Garrig's. I'd love to see their stats per inning and how they, if they got better, if they were a 280 hitter in the first four, but a 360 hitter in the last five or whatever. I'd like to see as that pitcher got more tired if they increased, because it's the opposite today, obviously.
If you also want a hot take for basketball, if you threw Bill Russell in today's basketball, would he be better than Rudy Gobert?
That's just fucking next level disrespectful.
It's extremely disrespectful. I'm just throwing it out there. You know?
Well,
if you're comparing eras, you can have an argument about big men or whatever, and there's no right answer, of course, but the point is I do hold it against, it's not their fault on what year they were born in, but at least I'm acknowledging the level of competition significantly higher now than it was back then, and that really cannot be disputed.
No,
well, I mean, by the same token, look at all the guys that were played before the 3-point line. Look at a guy like Maravich or somebody like that who could shoot from anywhere. Well, how many more points would those guys have averaged in their career if there was a 3-point line instead of everything being a 2?
As a Mizzou guy, the guy that always comes to my mind is John Sunvolt.
When he played for the Heat.
Yeah. Well, I was speaking in college, but then later in the NBA, just an absolute sniper from way outside before the 3-point line. So, but as far as today versus yesterday, you have measurables from today that are statistically higher. You have 40-yard dash times, you have deadlifts, you have sprints, you have cone drills, you have all this measure.
It's also just the exercise and training programs themselves. They didn't have the knowledge back then.
Nutrition is better. Training is better. It's all year round. You don't have guys that are fucking, working as an HVAC guy in the off season that are playing in the NFL, which you had to do. Fucking Len Dawson sold cars and did the sports on the news in the off season because these guys needed more money. So, all right, very good. Chris.
A lot of those guys back then got into pro wrestling too, like Ernie Ladd.
Same thing.
I was being disrespectful for Bill Russell, but I'm just saying I do acknowledge the fact that you go through some numbers and stats, and when Bill Russell or even like a Bob Cousy shoot below 40% pretty much their entire careers, I don't exactly think they would be much of an offensive force in today's NBA. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Would you admit the game has changed dramatically?
It has, but if you go back to Bill Russell's era, they played at the fastest pace of all time.
Did you ever
the fastest pace was played during the Bill Russell era.
Did you ever see the Michael Jordan sketch when he was on Saturday Night Live with the first Black Globetrotter?
No, I have not seen that. That sounds hilarious.
I highly advise you to look at it. It's some funny shit. Like the guys are all doing like chest passes and shit. And Michael Jordan fucking takes the ball, just starts jamming it. And they're just looking around at him. And it's incredibly funny. And they managed to do it without being racist, which was a real challenge. So, okay. Chris, you like the Astros too? -175 over the A's. What we got for a pitching matchup there?
I believe it's Urquidy, and I think Blackburn is supposed to go for Oakland, but they keep flipping back to TBD. But last I had seen it was right. Last I had seen it was supposed to be Blackburn. I'm just gonna double check and see if they've changed it again. Because
I've still got Blackburn. If you believe StatFox, we've still got Blackburn. I told you they're either really good or really bad. Yesterday, when nobody else had a starter, I had the kid that pitched in the fucking West. That was
Casey Lawrence for the Blue Jays.
Casey Lawrence, yeah.
Who then didn't even start because they started Banda for some reason.
Right. But Lawrence was listed all day long. So they had it right.
Oakland or MLB still has gone back to TBD, but last I knew it was Blackburn.
All right. Urquidy's pitched damn good his last 3 outings, just giving up 1 run, gone 19 total.
Of course, I said that about Javier the other day. What happened to him?
Is it fair to just pencil in Yankees Astros ALCS?
I don't see how it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
what the fuck? What are you? The Twins? People they don't even know the Twins are still playing, let alone still leading a division. I
didn't even know they still had a team.
Yeah, we got uniforms and everything.
It's really great.
All right, so there you go. If you want to play the first 2, you want to play the Yankees Rays 2 games Chris broke down. 163, still getting better than 3-2 on your money. That's all right. You want to put the run line on those? Get positive money on both those plays. That'll take you up better than 3-1, 314 on a hundo. And if you want to play the Phillies Astros, get a decent price on the Phillies, a little higher price on the Astros. It's going to make your $100 wager turn into $184.90 and strict 4-1 on the run line. Chris, you want to play the run line on both of those? Going to pay you $400 on a $100 bet. So show us the 4-teamer. Let's grip it, rip it, boys. Got to go.
All right. I'm going to go with Austin Riley over 1.5 total bases. He had 2 more hits yesterday, so He's 16 for 31 or 32 in his last 8 games.
Killing it.
And he gets to face Eric Fetty, who he's 7 for 18 in his career against.
Okay. Fetty Wap, not good.
Yeah.
Just one double. You don't even need multiple hits.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I'm going to take the Braves over the Nationals as well. Double down on that. Charlie Morton going against the aforementioned Eric Fetty. Morton pitched extremely well against the Reds in his last start, only to get a no decision because of Atlanta's bullpen. Now Spencer Strider knows what it's like. They have to, throw 6 scoreless innings and get nothing. I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks over the Rockies. I like Gallen better than I like Cool. I know that, like you said, Cool's been an every other start guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to have a lot of faith in an every other start guy because
depends on which start it is,
right? But you never know if he's going to take that next step off the cliff either.
Well, there is good news though, because since the result of what happened yesterday, Melanson might not be available, so you got that going for you if you like the Diamondbacks.
The heartbreaker. All right, very good. And you got the Orioles there too, bud?
Yeah, Tyler Wells has won 6 straight starts, or 6 straight decisions, I should say. He's 6-0 in his last 7. We've talked about Reed Detmers before. He had one good start.
It was a no-hitter. It was a historic start, but that's pretty
good
much
start. Good start, man.
But,
yeah, this is Tyler Wells is really probably the most undervalued pitcher on the most undervalued team. I think Tim Earl would agree with me that there's no team that even approaches the Baltimore Orioles as far as being undervalued day in and day out. Yeah. They're starting to catch up. As you see, we're laying the wood here. But
yeah, this was an even line when it was Lorenzen, and then they switched and said Detmers, and then it just went.
Yeah,
I don't think the Orioles have laid 130 in 4 years.
That's about right. That ain't far from wrong. Chris, the only one I worry about there, well, I worry about Faden Cool at 160. But what I really worry about is back in Charlie Morton at 244. I just not sure about Uncle Charlie.
Like I said, if you look, he pitched well against the Reds. 7 innings, no runs, 1 hit, struck out 10.
I know.
And it's Washington. I mean,
she's not going to fuck your best friend this time. Swear to God, not like those other 4 times. Oh my God, you're with my. What are you doing with my best friend? Jesus Christ! I did not see that coming. I'm stunned.
But on the plus side, he's facing Washington. So, I mean.
That's how I feel like I'm in the middle of the river and fucking Charlie Morton's on my back as a scorpion. And he fucking stings me. And like, now we're both going to die, Charlie. Yeah, what do you expect? I'm fucking Charlie Morton. Stinging people halfway across the river is what I do.
So do you
Charlie Morton is 2-0 in his last 10 starts.
I was going to say, so does that mean that you're leaning towards the over instead, Steen, because you don't trust Morton and you definitely don't like Fetty Wap either?
Yeah. If I was going to make a play there, I'd plug the over in. But I get it. We may see that in a minute. I'm making a wild prediction. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I'm just saying, hey, if you want to play those 6, if you believe in Chris, and why not? He's the king of the parlays.
Scott sees six games there when there's only 4. How drunk are you today?
Did I say 6? Sorry,
yeah.
4.
I personally don't mind the Braves run line there. Washington is pure fade material. Going into the season, I thought they might be the worst team in the league, and they're approaching it, I'll tell you that much. But Morton's been okay. He hasn't been as good as he has been in previous years. But Fetty has an occasional good start once every, full moon. But it's not very good, and the Nationals' bullpen stinks as well, and they can't hit. So besides that, they're in good shape. Yeah, I don't mind Atlanta winning handily.
Okay. All right.
Hey, look, there's some guy named Jim showing up on the screen.
There he is. Thanks for telling me that, because I'm on large, so I can't see it. So there he is. It's the past and future host of Just Parlays. He's my David Lee Roth. He's the David Lee Roth to my Sammy Hagar. It's Jim Williams. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, I'm coming to you from Camden Yards. Speaking of the Orioles,
nice.
Nice.
I will be directing the game on Sunday for Peacock. So
wow, look at
Peacock.
The Baltimore Orioles against I was gonna say Angels, but it's really it's Ohtani and
nice.
his gang.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's it's a living. We gotta have side hustles somewhere.
That's right.
But hey, I wanted to come in and just tell you how much I've enjoyed watching for this show today, which has been fun. And all the shows you and Chris have done. over the past number of weeks here on Max Wagers, and
I've had a
you're
blast.
part of the family.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
As is Scott Reichel, by the way.
Who?
Thank you.
As is Scotty.
He's
the other Scott.
Scott's the guy that sits in the back of the station wagon that faces out, and it's in that seat that faces going backwards. He's in the car, but he's not up there with a seatbelt or anything.
As a wise man once said, "I'm just here so I don't get fined."
That's a good one. Quick on the batting side, when Scott was talking about, certainly Aaron and May is fantastic, but you have to throw Roberto Clemente in there for that time.
That's true.
Because he won more batting championships than those two guys.
Yeah, there's a couple of those guys that crossed over into the early 70s. If I'd have said 40 years, I'd have been completely clean. But
right.
I went for the kill, and I drug in those guys like Mays and Clemente,
right,
that played a few years in the early 70s. So
I'll say I'm sorry. One quick question for the learned panel here, because I know you got to get to other stuff, including your other show.
Right.
I honestly believe, and this is just me, I believe that there's probably a handful of pitchers led by Jim Palmer, Bob Gibson, Juan Marichal, those kind of guys. I still think they could have pitched well in this era. Your thoughts?
I don't doubt that. No, I don't. I think guys like Gibson, especially, I think he was well suited, and Nolan Ryan kind of crossed over era.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He played after the mound was lowered, but he was he starting 68 or was 69 his rookie season with the Mets?
60. Well, the year they went to the
I think it was 69.
69. So
he was a rookie that year, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was 68. He came up for a little while, but he played the full season in 69.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, he had his first start in 66.
Yeah.
In the major,
they sent him back.
Yep. Is that right?
He had 2 appearances, 1 start in 66, and he didn't pitch. They pitched in 68.
There you go. So yeah, Jim, to your point, I agree. I think those guys could have been ultra competitive. Sandy Koufax, probably, right?
Oh yeah, and Drysdale.
There are some players at any position in any sport that can just transcend.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gretzky would still be arguably the best player in the league right now if he was playing hockey. But my point is, you're looking at the home run numbers for some of these guys when the average pitchers, were significantly worse than the average pitchers now. So I do think some numbers are extremely inflated as a result. That's the point I'm trying to make. Mm-hmm. It's not about the elite guys. It's about the average guys. And I think that the comparisons between average guys back in 1930s baseball compared to now aren't even close.
So let me ask you, Jim, what's your take on park factors? Because the parks were a lot more asymmetrical back then. Well, you had some spacious ones, but then you had some cheap shot down the line. So do you think it was an overall plus or negative?
Well,
as far
I think
as home runs go?
I think from a standpoint of, let's look at like Crosley Field in Cincinnati, right? That was basically a bandbox.
Right.
You go then to Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, and they parked the home run. Dead center field was 465 feet away, and they put the batting cage in center field.
Well, wasn't the Polo Grounds was long too, wasn't it?
Well, the Polo Grounds was long.
8 miles.
It was long. It was long by if you're if you're hitting to left field, right? But if the right field porch at the Polo Grounds was like 310,
right?
So if you could pull the ball, then you could live all day long batting it out there. But you're right. Every one of those fields in those days were, you'd have some really wacky, left field would be, like I said, 371, right field would be 310. It's like a little league home run. So
Jim's point, it was 279 at the Polo Grounds to left, but if you went to left center, it was 450.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure right down the line was well below 300.
Mm-hmm.
As you went to
dead center was like 550.
It was 483.
Well, that
483.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a $5 cab ride.
Nice. The movie Brewster's Millions, where they had the train running through.
Right.
That was real.
I know.
That was a real minor league park. I don't think they use it anymore. But it wasn't Durham, was it? Anybody know where that?
No, it wasn't.
I think it was in North Carolina.
It was in North Carolina, but I don't know if it was Durham. I do know that there was a park in the Florida State League in Winter Haven, where the Red Sox used to train, and it actually they had a train that went by there because of all the orange groves in that area.
Oh,
And
wow.
I remember seeing a guy hit a home run, landed in the one of the cars, and the joke was he hit his home run traveled, 37 miles because that was the next stop on the train.
Hit it in
But
the open door.
hit it. Well, no, he hit it it was one of those. It had oranges, carrying oranges.
Oh,
So it
like
was
like a coal truck, except a
Yeah,
coal train, except it
exactly.
was
Yeah.
filled with oranges. I got you. All
Right.
right.
Is
So
it the
he
scene
hit
in Tin Cup though, where he's like hitting the golf ball down the freeway and it just keeps rolling?
it right.
Uh,
Like a 700-yard one.
James S says, that's why I miss Jim. Never-ending source of knowledge in sports.
Oh God.
I second that emotion. Absolutely correct.
Yeah, just
Uh,
I'm a total font of meaningless information.
so,
Jeffrey.
let's start a little controversy here. Marlo says, cough, cough. They moved the fences in for Hank Aaron. Jim, comment?
What, in Atlanta? Or is that where they're talking about?
Are they talking about Milwaukee or Atlanta?
I don't
didn't
know.
know
So I'm asking.
I wasn't born yet, so I can't really comment on it.
Bronco says, ask you about the no announcers game. Well, you just did. Did you get a chance to watch that, Jim? With the,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of no announcer games.
the Royals and
I liked it.
the Tigers. You liked it, Rochelle? Jim, what'd you think?
Look, I don't think people tune in to watch announcers. I do think that announcers help when the game is bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So, take that for what it's worth.
On the face of it, if you think about it, play-by-play for TV
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense because you're watching it. We obviously see what just happened. You don't have to tell me the guy grounded at the second base and he threw him out at first. I just fucking saw that.
Well,
So
to your point, Scott, if you watch one of one of the things I enjoy watching more than anything is watching the crew on MLB Network, watching, dip into a game,
Mhm.
and they go over, they don't use the announcers, the local announcers. They're all just sitting there talking like four guys would be in the stands.
Yeah, the
Right.
studio
And,
panel.
yeah, the studio game, and with Ansinger and Harold Reynolds,
yeah.
and then whoever other shows up. But those are the two
Plesac, I
guys.
think.
Plesac, quite a bit, yeah, and
he's funny. by the way.
sometimes Pedro will show up. So yeah, I mean that's like watching it with the four of us watching a game and reacting to it. Only those guys actually played it. But it's to me, as I say, baseball. And your point, you see it, you see what happened. You don't
Right.
need. It's funny because I'll be watching a baseball game with sound off. My wife will come in and go, "Why did you turn the sound on?" I go, "I can watch what's going on. I know what's going on."
Yeah,
It's
it's a visual medium.
it is. It's kind of that's the way it goes. But I mean, radio, 100%. You've got
sure.
wonderful announcers for many years in that sport. But on TV, and here I am sitting in a truck with people who are actually going to do that on television. I probably should keep my mouth shut. But no, I watch the game here in the truck. Do I listen to the announcers? Yes, but
And that's the pivot that's
I
been
don't need it.
Yeah, that's the pivot being made because now you have the Manning cast and you
Yeah.
have the K-Rod cast, and I think
Mhm.
Pat McAfee's having some type of thing for
Right.
Amazon football. But it
Mhm.
seems like most people kind of agree that if we can see what's happening, we don't need you to tell us what's happening. Give us some feedback that we wouldn't know.
Well, you and I did it for a couple of games, Scott. We had
Yeah.
a great time.
We
pulled
did.
in-
I don't think we addressed any piece of that Rams Cardinals game because the game was awful and we just made jokes the entire time.
Yeah, it was pretty much it. And we killed it. We pulled in well over 30 viewers, I think. So
Yeah.
Well, you doubled our normal total. Yeah. So,
We pulled
yeah.
in tens and
That-
tens of viewers.
yes.
but that's fun. I mean, that's the fun part of it. The fun part is going to a sporting event with your friends and just ragging on it or enjoying it as you're there. And
Apparently, Marlo was talking about Fulton County Stadium.
Fulton,
Okay.
Fulton County Stadium. They did that because Fulton County Stadium, Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Riverfront and the Vet, all were football, baseball stadiums. So what they did is they took the fences because there weren't any fences. There weren't no fences.
Aren't no fences.
There weren't no fences. There weren't any fences out there because my English language. They moved him in 5 feet from where the retaining wall would be. Now, you could say, and there was always a joke about the fact that when certain teams would come back, that fence might not be 5 feet away, it might be 7 feet away. I mean, 7 feet away if you had a chance to hit a lot of home runs, and they may move it back, to 3 feet away from that retaining wall. But those were fences that were on wheels because it was a multi-purpose stadium, was used for both football and baseball, and so they did have walls that were different from the actual retaining wall, which is what you would see during a football game. I do recall seeing Willie McCovey one time hit a home run at Three Rivers Stadium where the ball went over the fence, hit the retaining wall, and looked like a rubber ball, one of those Nerf balls going back and forth between the two fences. So
Nice.
he hit it that hard. So yeah, I mean, to your point, yes, the answer is they're removable fences. If you think that they moved him for Hank Aaron, then the conspiracy lives on. I don't know that happened, but
Can you
cannot confirm it.
Can you find me 41 home runs in Fulton County Stadium that went over the wall by 5 feet? If you can't, then
no.
Well, who's ever making this conspiracy,
right?
That Aaron shouldn't have passed Ruth at 714. So for that to be the case, you'd have to have 41 home runs at Fulton County that only went over by 5 feet.
Yeah, but that's assuming that he played all of his games.
No. I'm just saying that's right. No, everything
he's doing the math of the 755.
Right. I'm just saying you've got to take away 41 home runs.
I see what you're saying.
Were hit only at Fulton County and only went over by that amount.
Besides, even if wouldn't he have just played longer to beat the record? If you're at that point, aren't you just going to keep going?
He finished at 750 some.
No, he did. I'm saying if you take off those home runs hypothetically, then wouldn't he have just kept playing? Yeah,
probably
did it.
Yeah. And then there's no way. That's my point. There's no way that number is 40. Sorry, there might.
By the way, Gil's talking about how he wants a body cam on the catcher. Even better. Give me a camera on the umpire's hat. I want to know what's going through Angel Hernandez's mind. I want.
That would be blank. That would be a
like,
blank picture.
You figure it's like the Homer Simpson thought bubble with just like
a monkey just clapping.
Dough. Yeah. It's
all right.
crazy. Well, we better let you go. So
we only have 10 more to talk about, Jim.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, go for it.
It's fine. NASCAR show's in like 50 minutes anyway, so we're good.
Fine. We'll be good. Hey, buddy. Thanks very much. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for the kind words.
Well, to you guys, it's always fun, and you're always the family. So believe me, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other, not just on holidays, as the old saying goes.
Yep, absolutely. And David Lee Roth coming back to the band. Sammy Hagar's leaving. Sorry, guys.
That's all right, Sammy. All right, buddy.
So are we going to make Reichel Gary Sharon?
I think that's in the cards. Gary.
I've been called worse.
Yep, very good. So David Lee Roth will be back Monday.
I wonder what you could have been called worse than Gary Sharon.
Cherry Chastain.
Somebody who's not Gary Sharon. Somebody who never had
Neil Diamond. No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Jim, you'll be back here Monday, 2:00 Eastern, 1:00 Central.
I'll
just parlays with Chris and Jim, like God intended. The usurper is gone, forever banished.
Smoked by the sword of Asmodeus.
Jimmy, have a good time. Have a good time this weekend. Congratulations on your gig there, Mr. Big Time, sitting in the truck and whatnot. So
it's a one time only. So tip your waitresses if you're at Camden Yards, folks. This is a one time only deal.
There you go. All right, buddy. Have fun. Have a great weekend.
Okay, guys, have a great weekend. Be well.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll see you. Bye. There he goes, everybody. It is Jim Williams. Good dude in the show. Of course, I inherited it in good hands, and it will once again be in good hands. So, all right, buddy.
It wasn't in good hands while you had it, based on the way you worded that.
For the last time in my Just Parlays career, let's throw some shit at the wall and see which 10 of them stick, Chris. Shot in the dark.
Can you really go wrong with Jose Ramirez going over on total bases facing Brady Singer and his impressive slider?
Yep. Brady Singer going tonight for the Royals. I got the over. Good luck. Part of my plan is Jose Ramirez going ape shit. So I like it. Mookie Betts getting plus money. Yep. Devers.
Yeah, he only homered twice yesterday. Mookie Betts.
So did Devers, didn't he?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, there you go.
I still can't figure out how Jordan Alvarez is getting plus money on total basis.
Still happening. Getting plus money on all those guys. Arenado going up against Zach Wheeler. Yeah, you're getting 140, and you probably deserve it if that cashes.
But I mean, he's hit well in the beginning of July, and I think he got a couple hits off Wheeler on Sunday.
Okay. McClanahan over 7.5 strikeouts.
Struck out at least 8 in 5 of his last 6 starts, and Cincinnati has a lot of guys that don't make contact.
That seems like a recipe for strikeouts. You got the Twins over the Rangers right here, laying a little wood there at minus 118.
50 Shades of Gray. It's Sonny Gray and John Gray.
Yep. It's good. It's a gray out. Should be fun.
Rachel, which Gray would you rather have?
Sonny. But the Yankees had Sonny, and he was bad, but he's been good everywhere else.
A lot of guys fit that description.
Yep.
Can't handle the Big Apple, Scott. Can't handle the pressure.
They don't like fruits.
Don't like fruits. The Royals. You got Singer going against
Savale.
That's right. Savale having a dreadful season.
I thought you were going to say a banner year.
Singer's shown some signs of life. I don't hate it. You couldn't put a gun to my head and make me fucking bet this game, but other than the total. But sure, if I had to, gun to my head, got to take the Royals. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I just don't like Savale. Like you said, He's been horrible. His ERA is what, 7.06, something like that.
He's been bad. But Entiende, still a Royal. Woke up this morning, read the paper, still a Royal.
12 for 26 in his last 7 games. 13 for 26 against Cleveland on the season.
He's on fire. He's hitting the ball to all fields. He's not driving the ball, but he's hitting the ball with authority. A lot of singles and doubles. Yeah,
fourth in the AL with a 319 average.
The Red Blacks going against the Rough Riders.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Saskatchewan actually leads the CFL in sacks with 21. They lead the league in takeaways with 14. Ottawa's offense is not all that great. Their defense is decent.
Okay.
They've only been outscored by 12 points despite being 0-3.
Sounds like a recipe for an under, buddy.
Yep, that's what I'm going with.
Solid. Well, if you've got cantaloupes for stones, you want to put $100 on this, well, you could be happy with your cantaloupe balls because you'd be $136,000 richer on $100. And if you wanted to say, you know what, 136 grand, that's
chump
cool.
Change.
Good weekend.
Pocket change.
Good weekend, but I'm looking for something more. How can you put another 100 grand plus on that? Well, I got a deal for you. All you have to do is lay 1.5 on the Twins. You lay 1.5 on the Royals. There you go. That's it. 2 games. Puts another $100,000 in your pocket. $129,000 to be exact, as that would pay $265,000 on a $100 bet. So there you go. I know, Chris, you put up, you hit 7 yesterday. Now, was that 7 of the 9, or did it count Verlander?
That was 7 of the 9.
Okay, so not counting Verlander, which cashed, by the way.
Right.
But we took it off the board because the game had already started. You hit 7 of the 9 remaining ones.
Yeah, Schwarber and Ohtani were the 2 that didn't.
Schwarber, for the record, if you round robin those, you had a pretty good day.
You're damn right you did. I'll tell you what, you could do worse than round robin in these 10, about a 7-way, 8-way. You do a 2-teamer, obviously you're going to fucking go broke. But
yeah,
you do 7 and 8 teamers on a round robin at these 10. If your book allows it, you're doing just fine.
And once again, you can still end up losing money, but if you're talking about upside, then round robin's a very underrated way of betting parlays that a lot of people truly don't know of. And I feel
Why don't you explain it real quick, where Shelby? You're right. It's not something. Steve and I have talked about it briefly a couple times, but I don't think we've ever really
put it in horse racing terms, Scott.
It's basically getting getting a box.
Yep,
basically
exactly what it is. You're doing a box with however many horses you pick, however many teams you pick. You put it into different combination of 2-teamers, 3-teamers, 4, whatever you want to do. They usually let you go up to 7. I got to tell you, I'm not usually in that stratosphere, Scott. Can you go 7? Can you go 8 on a round robin?
You can do anything if you find the right guy down the street.
Oh, fair enough.
But when it comes to actual sports books, I think most of them max out at around 5. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've seen a little better than that, but yeah, it's not. So, but there are. it's a real double-edged sword because when it hits, it's a nice payday. But with all those combinations, as you know, if you've ever been to the track and done a five horse trifecta box or a 5-horse quinella box, you start paying for a lot of combinations that don't pay off and it hurts. But it is
he likes round robins but hates the cost, and Runs with Scissors says you can do 8 at Bookmaker.
You can do 8. Okay, there you go. So you can take 8 and then round robin from there, or you can take an 18 parlay within like 10 or 12.
And it makes sense because, of course, if you round robin and everything wins, you make significantly less money than if you would have just taken the regular parlay. But that's not really the point. The point is trying to find ways to make money when you end up hitting 6 of 9.
Yes. So. Yeah, that's the problem is when you've got a 10-teamer and 8 of them hit, you're fucking depressed.
Correct.
But if you've got a round robin, you're doing quite well. So, all right, very good, guys, very good indeed. Chris, obviously, I've had a blast. You've been a lot of fun to host the show with. You're a guy that just gives it right back, just like Rachel, and I'm a fan of that. You got great knowledge. The parlay shit is just it's wizardry to me. So congratulations.
Well, like I said before, you can see how much fun it is this time of year when there's not a whole lot of stuff to work with.
You know what though? You're still being profitable. You're not. You're maybe not killing it. You're not just fucking gold falling out of your pockets like you were during basketball season. You're still profitable. You still got your head above water in baseball season, and that's damn impressive playing parlays every day. So hats off to you. Of course, good luck going forward. I'm going to be a fan of the show. I'll be checking it out. Rachel, you and I will be talking. We quite possibly could be back for football season to have the rubber match. That implies it may be the last one, so I'm not going to say that. But we're tied 1-1 in college football. We have to fix that. So hopefully we'll be back and do some football. And yeah, wish you nothing but the best. Very talented young fella as well. You guys couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without everybody out there telling their friends, telling their neighbors, sharing it on social media, checking us out every day. Yeah, the regulars in the comment section become kind of like weird family. The weird family you never talk about. You keep them in the attic, but still weird family nonetheless. No. I feel like I know a lot of you guys. I would really like to do a live thing. The spring trip to Vegas for March Madness, great idea. We'll see if we can flesh that idea out. So, Chris, final thoughts?
Well, like you said, it's been a lot of fun the last few months. Hopefully, you'll have a lot of success with your new project. Won't be the same, not having you on the show. Listening to your horrible music that you listen to before the show sometimes.
Fair enough. Rachel feels the same way. I guarantee it.
I got used to it.
And I hope that Rachel and you guys and you both pop around now and then, and make an appearance.
Because, I might be able to fit in a pop in or two. Absolutely, be happy.
I'm in the neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
it's been a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. Likewise, for sure. All right, guys, that's it. It's so hard to say goodbye, but we're doing it. But we're saying goodbye, and we'll be back in about 40 minutes. So, just like Rachel and I did last week. Oh, tearful. We'll never see you again. And then, 5 minutes later, hey, what's up? Nothing. What's up with you? So, yeah, we'll be there for the NASCAR show. You guys want to check that out? Make sure you do. But if you can't make the NASCAR show, check out each and every one of us doing our individual videos every single day. And Chris will be back Monday. Once again, he'll be here with Jim. And I guarantee you, they're going to talk about a lot less shit and concentrate a lot more on
just parlays.
You guys take care. Thanks again. We'll see you.